What's up, flockers? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the fees associated with moving to Florida. In case you don't know, in case you're wondering, because I didn't know this when I moved down here, so I'm going to be talking about fees that nobody really tells you about once you get down here. So if you're interested in hearing about that, keep watching. So when I moved down to Florida, I didn't really know like all the fees and stuff that would be associated with my move. I kind of just factored in the move itself, gas money, getting a place to live, deposit and things like that for, a rental deposit and a security deposit. I didn't really factor in all these other fees that are associated with moving to another state. And remember, I live in Pinellas County, so the fees where you're located might be different. But the fees are as follows. And they can get very costly. I just want to say that. So when you move from state to state, first and foremost, you have to get your car registered. To get your car registered in Pinellas County, Florida, it is outrageous, you guys. Like, the fee associated with that is anywhere from $400 to $500. I believe we paid somewhere in the realm of $450 when we got down here, and that was for my husband's vehicle. So we paid for him like new tires on the road, new wheels on the road, something like that. A fee associated with Florida is like $225. A first time registration fee, because you've never had a vehicle registered in the state of Florida, is another $100. He had to get his CDL, which I'm not really sure how much that was, and then other fees and taxes related to all that. And at the end of it, it was like $450. Yeah, very close to $500 to get my husband's vehicle registered. And we have two vehicles. So, we were looking at, if we would have registered them both at the same time, like probably about $1,000 just to register two vehicles. Now, with that said, when you go to register your vehicle in the state of Florida, you have to have proof of insurance already. You can't go to the DMV or the tax collector's building, that's what it's called here. And you can't go to the tax collector's office without proof of insurance. So you go in, you have your proof of insurance, you have your title or proof of any like liens and stuff like that, everything that you might need to register in Florida. Then they will go out to your car with you. They inspect like the VIN number, mileage, stuff like that. They walk you out to your vehicle and they inspect that. Where I'm from in Wisconsin, nobody ever did that. But they do that in Pinellas County. So they will, go with you out to your vehicle and inspect the VIN and the mileage. Also, let's see what else. Oh, proof of insurance, bring it with you when you go. You have to have it. I'll find the website for all the fees and stuff associated with Pinellas County and registering vehicles and stuff like that. I'll link it down below. So if you're interested in that, you can click on that link to get all the fees, because there's so many. I just don't know what they all are. I just know in our case what we paid to register our vehicles. And that was because my husband has an SUV. So because I guess they do it by weight and stuff like that when you register a vehicle. Not too sure. Anyway, so that's for the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, registration, stuff like that. Now, with that said, what goes with that is car insurance. Car insurance in Pinellas County is ridiculous. From where we came from in the Midwest, it has tripled. And the insurance agent basically just told me it's because we have like so many bad drivers in the state of Florida that you really need to have like a good insurance. Insurances are higher, things like that in the state of Florida. And in the state of Florida, in Pinellas County in general, where we live, this is just what the man told me, that because I was like, what? Why is this so high? Like, are you kidding me right now? Compared to back home, it's ridiculous. So what he told me was, the if you get in an accident in the state of Florida, the odds of you having an accident with a very high priced vehicle is greater, because you live in Pinellas County. There's people with money in Pinellas County apparently. So you could hit a Mercedes or a BMW or a Ferrari, or a really nice vehicle, and you need some good coverage that's going to help you out in the event of something like that happening. So your car insurance is definitely going to go up. We have both of us on our car insurance. One vehicle has full coverage and the other one just has liability. But it's a pretty hefty fee every month. So keep that in mind. So car registration and car insurance, just to get down here, it's a very large fee. And this is something we didn't know before we moved down here. Like, I didn't think of these fees. Like, I did, but I didn't think they would be like so outrageous. That kind of sums up registration and car insurance. Now, other fees are the rental fees that they have down here. Now, I'm familiar only with like a single family home and how that process works, because that's what we got. So rental fees, what's going to come along with that? So basically, everyone down here is going to ask you for some type of like credit and background check. Okay, so that in itself, for each member of your family that is over the age of 18, will be anywhere from $50 each to $75 each. In our case, we had to pay $75 each adult that was moving into the house for a credit check. And then we had to give first month's and security deposit. Other places will ask you for more money. I mean, that's just what we were asked for. That's what my landlord asked for. So other places will probably can ask you for more money. It's not like it's unheard of, because I've seen it. If you go on Zillow, sometimes it'll tell you down at the bottom, if you scroll all the way down, like what the landlord will ask for, the fees the landlord will ask for. So basically, first month's, last month, security, 50, anywhere from $50 to $75 for a credit check. Basically, they'll ask for a pet deposit. So those are the type of things that you need to keep in mind. That said, keep in mind that if you add more people to your home, as like we did, now that my brother and my sister-in-law are here, my landlord did raise the rent for us to do that. And he also required more of a security deposit because the rent was raised. So he wanted to raise the security deposit to match the rent. And he charged an additional pet fee for my brother's dog. So there are fees involved. As with anything, but I think Florida there's just a lot of fees involved when you're moving to Florida that you probably don't really think about, because I know I wasn't really thinking about like all of these type of fees. So that is just my experience with our single family home that we have, because single family homes down here are different than apartment complexes. And what I mean is, we were checking out a few apartment complexes to move into. Very nice. They have very nice ones down here. So we were checking out those to move into. And let me tell you, it's so weird the way they do things. They like today it could be one price, but then tomorrow the market will change, and the cost of the apartment could be something else. And they require like crazy deposits and holding fees and just all kinds of stuff, like at some of the apartments that we were looking at. So just be very conscious and do a lot of research on apartments. If you're going to move into an apartment, if you're coming down here, ask them about all of the fees. Ask them if those fees could change. Ask a whole lot of questions, because in my experience, honestly, the fees were changing, and they literally tell you, if you go in to look at a place, they will literally tell you, oh well, you really want to like put a deposit down today because the price could change tomorrow. I never really understood that, because it doesn't happen where we're from. It's just weird. And I know it's just the market here in Florida, and that's just the way it is. But that was something I was not familiar with at all. I had no clue that like your rent can change from one day to the next. That is unheard of from where we are at. It's like if you rent a place, you can't change it for a year. Do you know what I mean? And here, it's not like that. So once you're locked in a lease, of course they can't change, you know, your amount of rent for that whole year. But like just getting into an apartment complex, you want to ask a lot of questions and about all of the fees. Okay, so keep that in mind. Because we live in a single family home, we have to pay utilities. Okay, so with utilities in Pinellas County, where I'm at, we have Duke Energy. Okay, so that would be our gas and our electric. When we went to have our utilities connected and put in our name, Duke Energy charges a deposit, and it can range anywhere from like $100 to $250. So anywhere in that range, I would just automatically like budget for the highest of in the range, which is $250. Just budget that off the top for your Duke Energy. If you're in Pinellas County, your Duke Energy deposit, because that way you're already at the top of the range and you won't have to worry about it. It won't be a shock to you, won't be a surprise. But yes, out here, Duke Energy and the water company will ask for a deposit before you can start services. And Duke Energy does like a credit check. So I'm pretty sure your deposit will also be based on somehow on your credit and your history. So just keep that in mind. There's also a deposit for water. So in our city, the deposit for the water, I guess, ranges. I looked it up, and it's anywhere from like $100 all the way to $1,115. I don't know why there's such a wide range. I don't really know how that all worked. I was trying to read up and get a little more information on it, but it didn't really give me the information that I was looking for. So these are just some of the fees, you guys. Like, if you're moving down here, just be aware and do a lot of research, because I guess I didn't really, I knew there would be like car registration fees, but I didn't realize car insurance would be so much. So you're going to want to call ahead. If you already have a carrier, whoever your, insurance carrier is already, you're going to want to call ahead and be like, or call them and just say, so if I move to Florida, if I move to such and such county, Pinellas County, can you tell me how much my insurance is going to be if I relocate there? That is something you're going to want to do, because that could be like a shock in itself. So car insurance, car registration, I'll leave it linked down below for Pinellas County and the DMV. They call it the tax collector's office here. It's not called the Department of Motor Vehicles. So I'll leave that link down below with all the fees and everything. You can look that all up. So just know, guys, like, there's a lot of fees. So you're going to pay a hefty amount for your car registration. You're going to pay a hefty amount for your insurance. Duke Energy in Pinellas County has a deposit that you're going to have to pay, and they'll do a credit check. The water company also has a deposit that you're going to have to pay. Oh, here's another thing that I forgot to mention. So when you're renting a place, they want your total income for everyone in your household to be 3 times the amount of the rent. So let's say like our house is $1,000 a month, let's say, and we would have to make between everybody in the home $3,000 a month, so that just lets them know that you can afford your rent. So basically, out here in Pinellas County, I see that everywhere. Everyone asks for that. No matter where you're going to rent, you need to make 3 times the amount of the rent. They just want to know that you can handle it and that you will be able to afford it. So yeah, guys, I mean, like, do your research before you move down here. Do a lot of research. Like I did. I mean, I did research on the area and stuff, of like where I wanted to live, but you don't really know what all these fees are going to be until you actually get here. And then you start finding out when you start moving in places and they start asking for credit checks, and then you start getting your like utilities on and just stuff. And be aware that car maintenance is going to be crazy down here, only because I'm just talking tire maintenance. I just want to note that tire maintenance is going to be crazy, because I don't know, I've lived here a year and a half now, and I've probably replaced like all 4 tires on my car already, just because of nails and holes, and it's just ridiculous. So that's just another like added expense. So just be aware of things like that, you guys, and factor all that stuff in. I just wasn't aware of all this when I moved down here. Like I said, I mean, I did a lot of research on the area that I wanted to live in. Okay, and I made sure that it was a nice area, it was low crime, I was close to the water, and I really did make sure of all that. But I didn't really know to check into all these other little things and these little fees that were going to add up. And they do add up. To get down here and become residents and move in and get all our utilities and things like that, like established and turned on and do everything that we needed to do, we're probably looking at almost $3,500 for everything. So that's car registration for 2 vehicles. That's car insurance. That's the deposit for Duke Energy. Deposit for water. That's rental credit checks. That's first month's rent, and the current month's rent. And yeah, I'd say about $3,500 it took us just to do all that. And I'm just gonna throw it out there, like, I don't have a Florida driver's license yet. I didn't even get that far yet. When I went and registered the vehicle, I think it was a busy day and I was frustrated already and I didn't want to take the time to do it. So I need to do that still. And that's probably another 45, $50 on top of what we already done, on top of what we've already done. So I'm just gonna throw it out there that you need a good 3,000, 3,500 just to transfer everything and get everything established down here. Move in, transfer, get everything established, your utilities, your driver's license, and do all that. You need at least $3,500 right off the top. And that's Pinellas County. Other counties in Florida could be a lot cheaper. That's just where we live. So, yeah, guys, when you're moving down here, please consider that. Please do your research. Find out how much it's going to be. And just know that those fees do exist, because I didn't know that when I moved down here. I just didn't realize all that, because that's not, from where I'm from, we don't have all these fees associated with all the things. So, just so you're aware. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.